The UK entertainment world is still reeling after a devastating announcement that came earlier this week. Bradley Walsh, the beloved television presenter, comedian, and actor, has officially been diagnosed with a serious and chronic health condition. The heartbreaking confirmation came from sources close to the family, and it's a revelation that has left fans across the country stunned, concerned, and mourning alongside the Walsh family. At 65 years old, Bradley has long been regarded as a national treasure, a man of humor, heart, and humility. But the truth now emerging reveals a private battle he's been fighting silently for months, a battle few knew about until now. Sources close to the Walsh family revealed that the blankety-blank and the Chase star had been experiencing troubling symptoms for some time. What began as mild fatigue and unexplained aches turned into something more ominous. Quiet hospital visits, postponed commitments, and the sudden reduction in public appearances were the subtle signals fans began to notice. According to those with direct knowledge of the situation, recent medical tests confirmed the family's worst fears: an aggressive, long-term illness that will require immediate and continuous treatment. It's been described by insiders as a diagnosis no one ever wants to hear. Not for someone like Bradley, who has brought so much joy to millions. And yet, that was the exact message his doctors delivered. Those present during the diagnosis say the atmosphere in the room was beyond words. When the consultant quietly confirmed the condition, Donna, Bradley's wife of over 25 years, reportedly broke down in silent, uncontrollable tears. Those closest to her say she tried to stay composed, tried to be the strength her husband needed, but her body trembled as the words settled in. Donna, the elegant choreographer and former dancer, known for her composure and fierce loyalty, sat motionless, her hand gripping Bradley's as if refusing to let reality take him from her. One witness, a close family friend, described the scene in one chilling sentence: "The strongest woman in the room became the quietest." Since the confirmation, the Walsh family has retreated into private reflection. Their home, typically filled with the sound of Bradley's booming laughter, has become a space of whispered conversations and sleepless nights. Donna has stepped back from all public and professional engagements, now fully devoted to her husband's care. She's canceled choreographic projects, stepped away from appearances, and reorganized every corner of their lives to protect Bradley from undue stress. And behind closed doors, she's taken on the impossible: the role of wife, caregiver, nurse, protector, all at once. Bradley and Donna's love story has always been one of subtle strength. Never showy, never for headlines, just steady, real, and deeply bonded. But those who know them intimately say this moment has tested them in ways nothing else ever could. There have been evenings when Donna's eyes, red with exhaustion, filled with silent questions. Mornings where Bradley, normally a whirlwind of wit, has sat in silence for hours, staring into the distance. And yet in the stillness, there remains love. He recently whispered to a close friend, "If I can't be the man I used to be, I'll be the man she needs now." Doctors have mapped out a treatment plan involving specialists in London and abroad, and the Walshes are navigating that delicate world of appointments, second opinions, and hard choices. Bradley now spends long stretches of the day resting, often in a private wing of the hospital when not at home. He's reportedly taken to journaling, an exercise his son Barney encouraged, where he writes down thoughts, reflections, and even jokes as a way to keep his spirit alive. Meanwhile, Donna manages a quiet army of caretakers, specialists, and family members, all moving around Bradley like clockwork. Their only mission: give him comfort, give him strength. Once the news broke, the entertainment world responded with overwhelming compassion. Messages came pouring in from presenters, comedians, actors, and crew members, many of whom have worked with Bradley over the years. Chasers like Anne Hegarty, Mark Labatt, and Jenny Ryan were reportedly among the first to call. Mark was said to be visibly shaken during a recording of the chase and even stepped out for air before returning with misty eyes. Brad's more than a host. He's a big brother,
one production assistant said quietly. We're all heartbroken. For Barney Walsh, Bradley's son and co-star on Breaking Dad, the diagnosis has been especially difficult. Barney, 27, has been a rock in his own right. Supportive, present, and patient. But those close to him have noticed the toll. He's canceled international travel, paused acting projects, and now lives just minutes from his parents' home. According to friends, Barney rarely leaves his father's side. And in quiet moments, he's been overheard telling his dad, "You don't have to be strong for me, I'll be strong for you now." Though weakened, Bradley has not surrendered his spirit. Insiders say he still tells the nurses jokes, still offers cheeky banter to hospital staff, and still asks after the well-being of others before mentioning his own pain. A longtime producer who visited him recently said, "Bradley Walsh is still in there. He's just softer now. But every now and then, he'll wink at you like he always did. That sparkle never left him." His quiet courage and his refusal to crumble has become a beacon for everyone around him. Across the UK, fans are devastated. Bradley isn't just a TV presenter, he's a constant, a familiar, beloved voice in British homes. Whether delivering a one-liner on The Chase or sharing a teary moment with a contestant, Bradley has always been genuine, human, and deeply warm. Social media is now flooded with messages of support. Bradley helped me laugh through my depression. He reminds me of my dad, strong, funny, kind. This hurts. Sending all my love to Bradley and Donna. We're with you. This isn't just about fame, it's about connection. And the UK feels this loss deeply. Despite the emotional hurricane, Donna Derby has emerged as a quiet warrior. She rarely sleeps through the night. Every detail of Bradley's care is reviewed, documented, and discussed with precision. She shields him from overwhelming media attention and has reportedly told hospital staff, "No decisions without me. He's not just my husband, he's my world." One nurse said simply, "She's the fiercest love I've ever witnessed." Although much of this chapter is marked by pain, there are still moments of profound beauty. Bradley and Donna sit on their garden bench most evenings, holding hands in silence. Occasionally, Bradley hums a tune from his youth. Sometimes it's a bit of Dusty Springfield, other times it's a cheeky melody from one of his early stand-up sets. Barney sometimes joins, resting his head on his dad's shoulder, not saying anything, just being there. It's a portrait of a family holding one another through the storm.
One of the most touching discoveries in the wake of Bradley's diagnosis has been a collection of letters, personal, handwritten notes he had quietly begun compiling long before his condition became public knowledge. These weren't press statements or autobiographical chapters. These were private reflections. Letters written to friends he hadn't seen in decades, to former co-stars, to Donna, to Barney. One was addressed simply, "To anyone who ever watched me on TV." In it, he wrote, "If I ever made you laugh when you didn't feel like it, then I did my job, and I thank you for letting me into your living room all those nights." Family sources say Donna discovered the stack of letters in a leather-bound folder tucked away in his study drawer, many unfinished, some tear-stained. She wept as she read them, because in those words was the real Bradley, vulnerable, self-aware, and deeply grateful for the life he's lived. Though he hasn't made a formal announcement, those close to Bradley say he has quietly accepted he may never return to television in the same way. It wasn't an easy decision. Television, after all, has been his second home for decades. But there came a moment when he sat in his dressing room after a brief appearance on set, utterly exhausted, his breathing labored, and he looked into the mirror and said softly, "I've had my turn under the lights. Now it's time to be a husband, a dad, a man at peace." He still takes calls from ITV producers, still checks in on the Chase team, still asks about the young runners on set. But Donna knows, and so does Barney,
that a chapter has closed. What matters now isn't the audience ratings or the next series. It's sunsets in the garden, slow walks when possible, hugs that last longer than they used to. Not long ago, Donna shared something privately with a close friend, something she had never told the press. It was a night, just weeks after the diagnosis, when Bradley couldn't sleep. The house was quiet, even the wind seemed still. He got up, wrapped himself in an old jumper, and walked into the lounge where he once rehearsed jokes for the laughter show. Donna followed silently. He looked around the room, the framed family photos, the scripts, the faded guitar in the corner. Then he looked at her and said, "I'm not scared of dying. I'm scared of leaving this." He wasn't talking about fame. He was talking about home, love, the everyday warmth of Donna's cup of tea, Barney's laugh, the neighbors waving from across the fence. It was the ordinary he feared losing, not the spotlight. Donna knelt beside him and whispered, "Then we fight for the ordinary, every single day." And they sat there, just holding each other, until morning broke. A few days after that sleepless night, Donna drove Bradley to one of his favorite quiet spots, a churchyard nestled in the countryside, where his mother once took him as a child. The rain had started to fall, but they didn't go back. Bradley wanted to walk through the garden. There, between the old headstones and the overgrown roses, Bradley stopped, closed his eyes, and whispered a prayer. Not for himself, but for Donna. He prayed that she would have peace, no matter what happened, that she would laugh again, even if his voice couldn't be there to make it happen. He asked for strength not to beat the illness, but to live gracefully beside it. Donna stood just behind him, tears running down her cheeks with the rain. Later she said, "That was the first moment I realized he wasn't just trying to survive, he was trying to help me survive it too." Bradley Walsh has always been more than a TV presenter. To many across Britain, he's been a stand-in son, a brother, a comforting voice. Pensioners who've lost partners say they leave the chase on just to hear his laughter. Children grew up seeing him joke, trip, stumble, and rise again. Never cruel, never arrogant, just human. So now, as news of his condition spreads further, the letters and messages from fans have become a flood of affection. One 82-year-old fan from Eastbourne sent in a card that simply read, "You got me through losing my Tom. Now I'm here for you, Bradley." These aren't just fan letters, they're love notes from a nation. Because in an industry full of faces, Bradley Walsh became a friend. Life can change in an instant. Bradley's diagnosis is a stark reminder of our shared humanity, of the reality that even the brightest lights can dim, and even the strongest hearts can falter. But through it all, there is courage, there is love, and there is hope. Bradley, with his unmatched warmth, has given us laughter for decades, and now, as he faces this private battle, it's our turn to give back through our thoughts, prayers, and the space he and his family need to heal. To Donna, your strength is seen. To Barney, your loyalty is felt. And to Bradley, your legacy is more than television. It's kindness, joy, and heart. If this story moved you, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss updates on Bradley's condition and other deeply human stories from the entertainment world and beyond. Hold your loved ones close. Cherish every laugh. And remember, sometimes, even in our darkest chapters, the most beautiful love stories unfold. Thank you for watching.